Yo, what's up guys? This is going to be one of my first health related YouTube videos, so hopefully y'all can learn a lot from this video. Today we're going to be talking about a very controversial topic, but as of recently it's not really even controversial anymore. Some people are really just left behind and they still don't believe it. Very small percentage. But it's cholesterol and saturated fat. Why are these things deemed as unhealthy, right? I want to first go into a little bit of just history, just kind of skim over some history first, and then go into the science part of it. Why cholesterol is actually the building block to life. Why saturated fat, why these animal fats are the building block to life. So first of all, I want to talk about Kellogg, right? There's a man named Kellogg, and y'all may know him, right? Cereal, his cereal brand. So in the early 1900s, Kellogg created a diet called the Battle Creek diet, which is pretty much just a vegetarian-based diet. And in doing that, to get people away from eating the meat and the food that they've always eaten, right, throughout, again, the entirety of history, he started to say, he started to fearmonger libido. He started to fearmonger and say that, oh, red meat, it's causing you to be horny. It's causing you to want to have sex. It does. It does. He was completely right. But he fearmongered people into believing that that is a bad thing, that we should have low libido, that we need to be controlling ourselves. Yes, you need to learn to control your lust. You need to control when to do it and when not to do it, right? That's super obvious. And most people can't even handle that nowadays, and they're all low test. So it doesn't really matter, right? That's all. At that point, it's really all psychological. But he started to fearmonger people into believing, let's just stop taking, let's stop eating the red meat. Let's start this Battle Creek diet, that he's promoting. And, I'm going to have lower libido, but that's, what this guy is promoting. So these people started to agree and change their diets and change their viewpoints on the food that they've always eaten throughout history. And what did they start replacing that with? A vegetarian-based diet and cereal. Kellogg, again, making him more money. So he started to fearmonger these people into believing that libido is a bad thing and to stop eating red meat. So this is kind of like the start of it all, the beginning. And then there was another man named Ancel Keys that did a study, again, in the 1900s. I believe it was the 1920s. He did a 7-country study, which many of you probably know about. A 7-country study, which was all cherry-picked countries. It was all cherry-picked countries. And it was when I say cherry-picked countries, I mean it was a very low-quality study. A very low-quality study, and he cherry-picked it to get the results that he wanted, to prove his point, which was that saturated fat and cholesterol were killers. They were unhealthy. They led to heart disease and whatnot. Okay? And again, he completely missed the surrounding countries. He completely avoided and didn't count the surrounding countries that had very high cholesterol, that were living amazing, good, healthy lives. He only went to the countries that had high cholesterol and a bunch of other messed up things about them, right? A bunch of other health factors, because it's not just cholesterol. It's not just saturated fat, right? That's going to make you healthy or unhealthy. There's so many factors in health. Countries like France, Germany, and Switzerland, these are some of them, right? Around the area, they all had low heart disease. And guess what? They had high cholesterol. They had very high cholesterol. So again, it's all cherry picked. There's so many factors to health than just just one thing. So again, you could say all you want, the 7-country study actually proves, these 7 countries, they all had high cholesterol and they all had high heart disease levels, right? But again, there's so many things that have to do with health, right? When it comes to it being healthy or unhealthy, whether you're being a healthy person or living an unhealthy life, right? It has to do with so many different factors. It's not just one factor. So again, these other countries literally proof in and of itself that it is not linked to heart disease, that high cholesterol is not directly linked to heart disease. There is no causal link. It is all correlated studies. There's no actual causal link. So again, these 3 countries, you can even do more research. There's even more countries, right? Including, not even these aren't even countries, but the Inuit tribe, right? The Hadza. These are literally tribes that have been living for thousands, tens of thousands of years, right? And they live off of raw meat, raw blood, raw eggs. They've never seen a chronic illness in their entire life. There is zero data proving that any of these very high cholesterol diet tribes that have been thriving for many, 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 many years, right, have any sort of chronic disease, have any sort of heart disease, right? So all this in and of itself proves the fact that, you know, these studies are crap, and that these other examples, right, these other areas, these other tribes, they're proof that cholesterol isn't the issue, that it's a lot deeper than that, right? And looking at what cholesterol actually is, guys, what actually is cholesterol, right? Now that we kind of got past like the I guess you'd say the history side of things, right? What is cholesterol? Cholesterol is the building block for testosterone. Going back to libido, like I was talking about earlier, the whole plan that Kellogg had by fear-mongering people to believe that, you know, having a lot of libido is terrible, right? Testosterone for men, estrogen for women, they need cholesterol. Those molecules, those hormones, they need cholesterol, a lot of it, right? You don't look and you see a naturally 1,000 test, 1,200 test person, a man, and say, oh, dude, he's gonna die from heart attack. No, bro, these people are thriving. They look amazing. They feel amazing probably, right? I feel amazing. I'm probably, I haven't got it tested yet, but I am probably, with my diet for the past year, I am probably around 1,000 tests. Right, I would probably say that. I, again, never have brain fog. I'm always very, very motivated. I'm constantly moving. I'm constantly putting in work, right? Again, those things really don't have to do exactly with testosterone, but like I'm a very, very motivated individual, and I put in the work, and I show up every single day. I'm not tired. I'm not getting out of bed slow. Like once I wake up, I'm out of it, right? And I go into my day. So like I would probably say, again, I'll probably get studies this year done, my blood test done. I'll probably have around 1,000 tests, right? But, you know, me, for example, you want to look at me and say, oh, he looks unhealthy, right? I'm pretty healthy. I'm very healthy, right? For my age, especially. We need an abundance of cholesterol in our system, right? In our diet, each and every single day to thrive, you know, sexually, right? To have this, you know, motivation, to have this drive. It all comes from testosterone, right? And for feminine women, y'all need a lot of estrogen, right? You need a lot of estrogen. And how do you get the estrogen? Cholesterol. It's very simple, right? The mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, what does it need? What does it need in excess of? Cholesterol. Our brain is literally made of 60 to 70% cholesterol. We need cholesterol. We need it, right? Like all of the, again, all of the cap, all of the false studies, all of the literally paid off studies. So many of these studies, again, including Ancel Keys, they were paid off. They are paid off for a bigger marketing picture, right? Kellogg, for example, again, that guy literally did it for money. He did it for money. He did it so his brand could continue to thrive, and he can lead people the wrong way to cereal and eating grain sludge, right? So, again, looking at all these different tribes, the Inuit, the Hadza, and I don't know many other ones than that. I haven't looked into many other tribes than that, so I don't want to really speak outside of that. But there are many other tribes out there, indigenous tribes that are still thriving today, that have been living for tens of thousands of years, thriving, zero chronic illness, right? And they are healthy. They live amazing, they live good lives, right? And they eat, again, like I said earlier, very, very primal diets. To finish it off, the last points that I would have is we have, again, through isotopic studies as well, it is proven that we have evolved from a 70% carnivorous diet, a carnivorous lifestyle, where we eat mostly meat, animal-based products, and we have, you know, again, maybe seasonally in nature, when there's fruit, we'll eat fruit. And when we're starving, we'll eat some roots out of the ground, right? But again, roots and green stuff, leaves, no one's gonna eat that in nature. No one ate that in nature, unless if they were starving again. No one's gonna look at a leaf, oh, that's yummy. No, they're gonna go hunt an animal and kill it and eat its fat and organs. So yeah, guys, this video was a bit everywhere. I'm still pretty new to making these style of videos, so I'm gonna have to learn like a better structure to put these in, because I believe, again, I was kind of everywhere in this video. I would appreciate some feedback from you guys and letting me know like if y'all did learn a lot, and if y'all's perspectives have changed, as well as like things that I can do to make these types of videos better. Maybe I should do like a Miro board type video instead for these YouTube videos and whatnot. Or whatever, like a whiteboard type video. I don't know, but just testing different things. This is just the first one, and just learning the ins and outs of it. So I appreciate all you boys, and yeah, let me know if y'all again enjoy these videos. So peace out, God bless.